Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fight Stories. I'm Tyler Morrison. I'm here with John Moses. We got another banger of an episode. It's been lots of fun this season so far. I mean, we've had lots of comedians, and the comedian we got on today, this guy's a wild dude. We've been wanting to get him on for a while now.
Yeah.
Just this guy's got some great stories. I can't wait. I'm already
Yeah.
laughing. Just remembering we recorded this, during the earlier stages of the pandemic. And
I
just
know.
thinking about some of the stories this guy has, it's
Yeah.
perfect for the
And
podcast.
I think he's like wifed up now, so we probably caught him at a good time.
No, no, no. He's not wifed up at all.
Oh, I thought I saw he was like proposing to somebody or something. Was that
No,
a
it was
joke?
a fake. He like
Oh,
did
gotcha,
a
gotcha.
it was from a few years ago, but he staged a fake engagement and had people all
Oh, that's
congratulate
funny.
him on social media. Unbelievable. But yeah, this has been good. I mean, not too much to do, not too much to do these days still. It's all still locked down where I'm at. I mean, just watching UFC and
Yeah.
gambling. That's
So
about
you
it.
won again.
Yeah, I did
Dude, you were like a fucking well, I mean the golf, obviously you're getting your inside information from like the guy who plays Robert De Niro in Casino. but
exactly.
but I mean, you're still lucking out in other regards, you know.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was not having a good night. Okay, I was not having a good night on UFC. I didn't really study any of the fights, or like I wasn't paying attention or doing any homework. I was just kind of
Yeah,
going with the flow, and nothing was clicking in. But I saw the main event, and it was Curtis Blades versus the fuck's his name, Derek Lewis. Sorry, I don't even know who I'm talking about. Yeah,
I never know who you're talking about, so don't feel the pressure.
but, I'm watching. I've seen them both fight a bunch, and both are dangerous. Getting that
Yeah,
heavyweight division, it's curtains after one round, two rounds. If it gets to round three, they're gassed.
right.
So everyone was hyping up Blades. He was definitely the Vegas favorite going into it, and I just like that underdog odds on a guy who has the devastating power. Um, so I threw a couple bucks, I think $25 on round one and round two, because I'm like, if it gets to three, I don't know what's happening. But sure enough, he catches Blades and Blades goes down and is out cold. And to to follow it up, he does a Degeneration X crotch chop.
No.
Stuck it. Oh, it's so fucking good. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah,
it
it's
it
celebrating the
was
win.
wild. Yeah, I pulled on a $25 bet at like 400 and something. Like
God damn it, man. You're betting rounds. You're betting like the over and under on punches and shit.
it was
I'm
Derek
just
Lewis.
like, I can't even figure out how to bet just if a guy wins straight out.
Well, listen, if it's a heavyweight fight like that where the guys have significant knockout power,
Yeah.
round betting isn't a bad thing, because chances are someone is going out, someone's going night night. It's not going the distance, right? So the odds are significantly higher. But if you just, if you were to bet $50 on just the fight outcome, you
Right.
wouldn't make near as much money as if you sprinkled 25 and 25 on rounds.
Ah, all
So
right.
it ended up paying off in that regard.
All right.
But
Maybe
yeah,
it's time for
UFC
me to
has
start
been
gambling,
amazing.
man.
UFC has been amazing. I mean, listen, it all catches up to you, but
Yeah. Oh, dude, the second that I start picking your picks, you will go on a miserable losing streak, dude.
yeah, that's exactly it. Don't
My chi, dude, my chi will fuck you in the gambling arena.
don't listen to me. I'm an idiot.
Right, right, right.
But I've done okay. I've done okay with UFC though. UFC's fun.
That's cool.
Gotta
It's
have
cool.
something
It's
to
a good
do,
way.
man.
It's a good way to pass the time.
Yeah, no stand up shows. Do you got any stand up shows coming up?
Yeah. So this weekend I'm with the legend Rich Voss at I don't know. somewhere in New Jersey. Listen, if you're in Jersey and you want to come to a show, this weekend's a good one to come and see.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Rich Voss.
Boss is hilarious all the time. So,
Oh yeah, you can check him out on our season. Was he on season 1?
I think he was. Yeah,
Season 1 of Fight Stories. Rich Voss is so funny, man. Just
yeah,
a real character, and
he is
he is
totally.
always lightning sharp.
Yeah. So I did that. I did the Gotham. The first time I did that Access TV Gotham show, Boss was hosting with Bonnie, and then he comes up, and I always think Boss is the best, but this is the first time I met him. He comes up to me after the show. He was like, "Hey, man, hey, do I have your number?" And I go, "No, I don't think so." And he goes, "Good." And then he just keeps walking. I was just like, yes.
That was so funny. I was laughing like when I met him for the first time. It was with you when we were up. Where were we?
Levity, right at Levity.
Levity, yeah. And I could see he started. He wanted to like to rip on me,
to grill you. Yeah.
He was and then he's like, "How long you been doing stand up?" And I was like, 18 years. He's like, "Oh, okay." And then like instantly started being way, it wasn't gonna like a rookie.
You paid your dues. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, he didn't know. He probably thought like, "Oh, this is fucking John's assistant,"
Yeah.
Doesn't know shit. So so that's coming up. And
he was just on the Patrice O'Neill documentary. Voss is in that, and that's amazing. If you get a chance to check that out, that was really good. Interesting thing about Patrice O'Neill is he started out as a heckler and was heckling a guy in Boston, and the guy was like, "Well, if you think you're so funny, why don't you get up here and do this type thing?" And he just decided that he did want to do it. I don't know if he got up and did it
that night, but just sort of showed up at the mic or whatever.
Yeah, and he's a big dude, right? So that's a scary heckler to have coming at you in the crowd.
I know.
And his nickname at the time was Bruiser. That's what everyone called him, Bruiser. So
I wonder if he ever had to fight or if he just got by on his size.
Maybe. I don't know.
Did he have any like athletic prowess? Was he like an old football dude or something? I know at the end he wasn't in great shape, obviously, but
yeah, I'm not sure if he I don't know if he played football.
So many of these guys end up playing football and you never would have known it,
Yeah. No, he was one of the greatest though. So yeah, check that documentary out. And Voss is in it and all the beauties.
Yeah. That whole tough crowd generation. I mean, not the ones that are still alive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got Manolis Zontanos coming up.
Before we get into that, we want to thank our sponsors. Back in the Saddle, Absolute Nature CBD, the finest in all natural CBD oils. So make sure you guys check those guys out. And for the Fight Stories listeners, promo code is Goon Squad. This season, you're getting 45% off the whole season when you type in that code. So you're good to go with that. Absolute Nature CBD, absolutenaturecbd.com. Type in Goon Squad. Get the big discount. And then, of course, we got our second sponsor, Uncle Ronnie's Tea Bag, baby. We are pushing all of our merch through Uncle Ronnie's Tea Bag. We got the Fight Stories, new logos, and then, of course, we got the Trevor Gillies shirt. Tyler, go ahead. You can talk a little bit more about that.
Sure, yeah, the Trevor Gillies collaboration T-shirt. Punches aren't vitamins. You guys are going to want to get those. People are all about this shirt. We're getting a whole bunch of people hitting us up on social media. They already got their shirts. Shipping time's been super fast in America. A little bit slower getting to Canada. Just be patient.
Tyler's shirts are taking a little vacation in Miami right now, getting the
tan. Yeah. The pandemic's got the borders a little bit slow with the mail. So they are coming if you're Canadian and you ordered them. But in America, they're going pretty quick. People are loving them, and they're super comfortable shirts. And Trevor Gillies is a fucking beauty, and we want to do more of these shirts with different guests that we've had. So there'll be a couple more collaborations coming out this season, and from some past guests from other seasons. So it's going to be pretty sweet. Get that at UncleRonnie'sTeabag.com. Don't fucking shit yourselves.
Yeah.
And we want to do another one of these little fight reaction videos.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
We're going to fire one up just because,
Oh, yeah.
these are fun to do.
Hold on. Wait a second now. I lost my... Oh, here we go.
So this one here, we ready to go?
Fucked up.
Stan Jonathan versus Pierre Bouchard. Classic Boston Bruins versus Montreal Canadian rivalry. David versus Goliath.
Here's Bouchard and Jonathan going at it.
Oh my God.
Bouchard and Jonathan.
The size
Jonathan
difference
ripped a
is
couple of shots. Oh, look at this heavyweight battle. Look at Jonathan go. Jonathan. Oh, one
And
last
just
clearly. Stan Jonathan took on
blood
Bouchard, and O'Reilly is belting Lupien. Wait a minute, Wednesday has knocked down Lupien and pounding away.
Those are the good old days, dude. They cut to the blood.
John Wednesday. And the fight's won by Boston.
They go close
There's
up.
blood on Stan Jonathan, but that's
Like a
Bouchard's
faucet.
blood, I believe.
Blood all over the ref shirt.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
So that's a classic fight. I can't believe you've never seen that one, man.
Dude,
That's
fucking Stan Jonathan is a spark plug, dude.
Stan Jonathan is like the olden day equivalent to Ty Domi. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
short, stocky, really strong on his skates, and powerful lefts. He
Yeah.
could eat a punch. He had a pretty strong skull on him.
Pitbull
like-
head. He had a pitbull head.
Yeah. That's why Don Cherry loved him. He reminded him of Blue.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah,
That is so funny.
Loved Don Cherry. He always would talk. Yeah, he'd always mention that. That's who Stan Jonathan reminded of. Just the relentlessness of a pit bull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so good, man, so good. That guy, the way he would fight, really hard to knock off balance. And he had some wars, man. He fought Ben Wilson to a draw. Dave the Hammer Schultz. He didn't back down from fucking anyone, dude.
That's cool.
And that mismatch, that was in playoffs too, that fight with Bouchard. And Bouchard was a pretty tough guy. I mean, listen, he's not on any all-time lists or anything, but look at the size
Well,
mismatch. He catches you
all-time gruesome knockout list. How about that?
That's big time, right? That's a huge morale shift if you're on Boston.
Oh, yeah. They got to send the guy out with the little rag to try and sop up some of the blood. That you remember that old guy?
Oh yeah,
Pot of hot water.
And they got like the afros going. Wensink's choking out Lupien in the long version of the clip. If you watch that, like Wensink's got him in like a guillotine choke on the ice. DDTs him. and Wensink, we did the video of him on the bench.
Wensink sounded like a nut bar.
He was, and he's like very calm and composed off the ice, and seems like he's a guy who
Oh yeah,
isn't crazy off the ice, but on the ice,
yeah. Fucking Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, and these guys, man, when they played for Cherry, they had the most 20-point scores ever on a team when Cherry coached that club. So Stan Jonathan and John Wensink are all getting 20+ points that season.
Points or goals?
I don't know. It might be goals.
Right. That sounds like more of a.
I think it's goals.
Stat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's cool. What do you think? Let's give him Manolis.
Oh yeah, Manolis Zontanos. This guy, he's had his own comedy special in Canada on the Comedy Network. Everyone fucking loves this guy. He's Hamilton's finest.
Yeah, he is a beauty, man.
Manolis Zontanos, guys, I think you're gonna love it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fight Stories. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler Morrison. I'm here with my co-host, John Moses, and our guest, stand-up comedian, Manolis Zontanos. Hope everyone's having a good time, because we always are. We got Manolis here, located in Hamilton, Ontario, right?
Yeah, I'm in Hamilton, Ontario.
And
right
I'm
now.
up in Muskoka. John's down in New Jersey, so we're doing the Zoom files again. But this has been good. We've had some good episodes so far. We're just kind of starting to get our setup a little bit better. It works great when our guest also has a good setup.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little bit dicey on the other end, but hey.
This Zoom thing is it's the only good thing about this pandemic is that this Zoom thing is just so useful now.
It's true. Like, who's going to stop doing this after it ends? Like, why would you try and go and get people when you got good sound and video and convenience?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
As long as you can control we've just finally got our
shit together.
Video
set up. Our shit together.
But we just kind of got our sound and video set up a bit better. But yeah, if the guest has it too, it makes it great.
Yeah, some guys I went through the trouble buying a mic and I'm trying to figure out all this stuff, but a lot of guys will just have like the bare minimum. It's like you just gotta have some good stuff and you're good.
Right. Invest a couple of bucks.
Right?
Oh yeah, we're all gonna be stuck in this for a while, so
yeah.
Tell me about it.
But anyway, one of the reasons I really wanted to have Manolis on, first of all, you're hilarious, and we've toured together, so I've heard some of these stories. I know that you've been in a few ruckuses. I've seen a few, online videos of altercations. You're certainly not a guy who takes a backward step from any type of confrontation. So I figured,
I saw the video clip where you were like, buddy, what do you think, this is a fucking joke or whatever you were saying? You're at like the Fox and the Fiddle or something.
Yeah.
And he started going at some guy.
It's always, it's always like the one where I challenge a heckler to a fight kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think it's called. Yeah, but it's the guy who was just trying to fuck with me. Like I said, I didn't pretend. I said he was leaving this shitty open mic, and I said, I'm doing so bad, this guy's leaving. He's going, fuck this guy. I said, he's going, fuck this guy. And then he goes, what'd you say to me? I'm like in my brain already, I'm like, you heard what I said. You didn't you're trying to switch the narrative to make it seem like I said fuck you. I didn't say fuck. So I'm like, oh no, man. I said, and he goes, what'd you say? Did you say fuck me? Did you say fuck me? And I go like this in my brain. I'm like, all right, let's go to 10. Let's go right there.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not like I try to be nice, but then I was just like, hey, bud, if you're looking for a fight, I'm up for one. So what do you want to do? And right away he was like, because he's a bully. Yeah, but because he's a bully, right?
Right.
But right away he's like, oh fuck. Like he's like, you want to fight too? Like I was going in with the idea of you just being scared to fight me and me just swinging my dick but not really doing anything. And I'm like, no, let's fight then. You want to fight? Let's fight. And then he's like, I said at one point, like, what do you? I go, you think I said I say crazy shit. I'm like, when I'm in that moment, I'm almost like a fucking, it's like a movie, right? I'm in a movie. I'm like, I remember two things I said. I said, you think I don't want to die? Is that what you fucking think? I go, look at my eyes. Do my eyes look weak? Do I look weak to you? So I'm saying, like, when someone just a total
just crazy movie shit.
Yeah, crazy movie shit. And I'm like, the thing is, I fucking mean it, man. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fight you, and I might die, you might die, we both might die, and whatever it is, I'm good. So what do you want? And then he just fucking completely, then from that point, he just backs down.
Right, he dissolved.
And you could see, it was weird too. It's like, you could see his body language. His body started going like, almost like curling a bit.
Oh shit. Yeah.
It's a trip, man. But yeah, that's one.
Just like 30 years of Canadian comedy rage just coming out of your eyes in that one.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what it is, man. It's like, you know how like being a comic and like dealing with all the shit we do, and like we're always like, we go to all these clubs and we don't get treated the way we should get treated sometimes, and you don't like put your foot down as much as you want to because you have a boss and you don't want to get fired.
You
want to come back and all this shit. Yeah,
you got to turn. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But like when those moments, I tell you, the shittiest moments are when they're like, you want to fucking, you're like, for them, it's like, you want to fuck with me. You are not my boss. You're not a cop. I can't get fired right now. Like, what? I'm almost like, what are you? Are you crazy? Because you just made it's like you just stepped in a bag of shit. and you're not gonna get it off your foot, man. I had some fucking guy. That's what I mean. When that happens, I just go right to that all the time. A week ago, I had some fucking guy. I'm in trying to buy a fucking gyro, and I had my mask below my nose.
Yeah.
And this guy in front of me turns around, sees that.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, he goes, "You gonna put a fucking mask on? Are you gonna put your fucking mask on?" Right out of nowhere. And I go, "Actually, no, I was just taking it off. Thank you for asking." And I put it in my pocket. And this guy, right? I put it in my
probably
pocket.
is like a number one fight starter cause right now is the people not wearing a mask and someone getting pissed about it. I bet you that's a lot of
not in America.
Talk to me, dude. Just say, hey, I'm sorry.
Did
you put your mask on?
Did he say that?
No. He went like, "You want to put your fucking mask on?" Like that. He said, I'm like, "No." I took it off, and he lost his fucking mind. And I go, "What are you gonna do?" So I started going, "Right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do something?" And he didn't. He was like, "Huh?" I'm like, "See, you're not gonna do anything. So fuck off." And that was it.
You know what? I can agree with somebody in principle. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't disagree with his point.
Right. You know, like if I somebody else, I'd be like, "Oh, he's not wearing that right." But like in a moment, if somebody talks to me like that, I am doing the same thing. I am going in the other opposite direction, fucking full throttle, dude. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. If I see a guy with no mask at all, I say nothing to him.
Right.
Because like I don't like. I am not the police. I don't own the fucking establishment. I'm not security. Fuck you. But
what are you doing? Chucking merch to fans in the garage? It's like
trying to get the cricket in the garage to shut the fuck up. Just throwing shit.
We can't hear it.
I can't find it.
We cannot hear the cricket. So Manolis, I've got a story about you.
Okay.
And if we got to edit it out, we got to edit it out.
All right.
So
why is it bad?
Right. So Giannis Papas told me like probably 10 years ago that you were staying at his apartment, and he didn't tell his like girl at the time that you were staying, and she comes home for work, and there you are like fucking banging a stripper on the pull-out couch.
Well, that is a true story, but it was my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't lie. I would love to say it was a stripper.
She wasn't a stripper.
Yeah.
I wish it was a stripper. I wish it was a stripper. I'd probably still be dating her. But I was in. I didn't know she was coming home from work, but I was like actually there was a spare room, and we're fucking, and I guess we're making a bit of noise, and I guess she came home, and then she fucking left, and then I got a call from Giannis later, and then I tell you, man, it's the only time Giannis. I love him. We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's the only time he was super mad. Because I guess his girlfriend he's like, "Bro, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? What are you doing?" I'm like, I had in my head, like, it's like one of those things. I'm going, "Sorry, man, I apologize," but in my brain's like, "What do you mean?" Like, I had my dick in a girl's pussy on a futon in a spare room, like. It was closed. What's the problem, dude? Like, but I didn't say that. I didn't want to put gas in the fire.
So futons are for.
Yeah. Really, it was your girlfriend's fault for screaming and making noise. She should have been much more polite in that situation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's always. I think as guys, we masturbate so much, but we do it in a way where we're always like we're worried about someone catching us. So you jerk off. I don't fucking come go. Ah!
All right.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'm a ninja. You know what I mean?
You come in the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm married.
Ninja vanish.
Yeah. But like women, they're like so used to just like.
Right.
Like, no, I'm gonna, and that's part of the best part of when you having sex with a girl, when their reactions of how when you make love, and you're like, this is It's almost better than the actual fucking. It's just the way.
Right. We have partly conditioned them to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes
so it's
performance is for us.
Yeah, and then if you go to your girlfriend, where you're like fucking, you're like shh, shh. You're trying to be like, now it's just weird. You can't tell. You don't want her to be quiet.
We're a guest here.
Yeah, we're guests. Now this is white girlfriend might come home anytime.
Yeah, right.
Shut the fuck up. But
She's the only one on the lease.
I think she was actually. No. It was Giannis's place. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Do you see Giannis a lot?
No, I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him, I think we were doing something at Gotham, probably like a year and a half ago. I haven't seen anybody in 6 months, but.
Did you see he did Bill Burr?
Oh, he did that podcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bill
yeah,
Burr's...
but those guys chum around a bit. Burr has done his history hyenas and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. Burr's
Yeah.
in history. That's a big deal. Holy shit.
Yeah. Those guys are good.
Yeah, I heard Burr's. He's just that. It's pretty cool. He's that kind of guy. Like he's pretty high up there, but he still want to like hang out, slum it out with the fucking, one level down dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I he was cool. Paul Verzi, who was on, got me in backstage at the at Count Basie Theater here in Red Bank, and I had my kid with me, and my wife was like, we were trying to do the handoff before I went to the show, but my wife was running late, so I'm like knocking at the back door of the theater with my kid, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? So my kid's in the green room, and I'm cussing up a storm, And
That's amazing.
Yeah. Bill Burr's like, look at this guy. That's the thing about comics. Just cussing in front of their kids like it's no big deal,
Is he, I'm so interested in that person. So sometimes when I hear him so many times talking, I'm like, do you think he's a scrapper? Because he looks like he's got a skinny, small guy, but
he says he isn't.
He isn't because he's
been around a lot of it, like from
right
back in Boston, right? He, his friends, I think, like to bang a bit.
Yeah, he just doesn't. But he seems like the kind of guy who'd be like, "All right, boys, we're gonna fight. Let's do this." Like, but I don't know because he's got the gift of the gab, but he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like he would back down from fucking anything.
Yeah, but then he's also got the.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a really good clip of him and Rogan talking about fight stories from back in Boston. In the area. Yeah, it's a great clip. It's really funny.
It's cool.
Those guys are great. So,
can I tell you guys what happened to me yesterday?
Please, yeah.
Please do.
Oh God!
So a week ago it was the guy in the pita pit, and then yesterday is a fresh.
I know.
Fresh thing.
A brand new fresh thing. So fucking crazy. So crazy.
Yeah.
That I'm like, part of me is like, am I the Matrix? Is this how is this even a fucking real? How did this happen? My dad, I was, buddy, when you're like, I'm going to have a fucking break. Like, I remember at one point when I was driving home that I thought I saw the car, like a TV skips and moves across and comes back, like you have to fix it so it just does. It's old TVs how like my eyes did that at one point, like when I was driving the car went boom and came back on the other end. I was like, because I was like so fucking rattled that I'm like, oh my God, is it happening? Am I having a breakdown? And my brain's, so I go to, my dad is 93 years old. He comes home from fucking Greece yesterday. Wow. And he comes
93 and he's still traveling. That's nuts.
That's nice. Yeah. And he says, pick me up 4:15 he's landing.
During the pandemic he's traveling too.
Yeah. Doesn't give a fuck, dude. No fucks given, dude.
Living his life.
He lands at 4:15. I get there like basically about almost 4:30, but the plane was delayed, so that I didn't know it was delayed yet, so I was good. But I get there, Terminal 1, Toronto. I go. There's a third level. There's those tunnels that go from where you park your car into the airport. You go through one of those tunnels, and the guy stops me. This guy's like, "Oh, sorry, you can't go in." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't go in?" It's like, if you're not flying, you can't go in. I'm like, "Well, my dad's 93. He's coming from Greasy's Landing right now. How do I get him? What do you mean? Well, I don't know what to tell you. That's not my problem. I'm like, what do you mean it's not your problem?
Yeah.
So like I have a 93-year-old dad, and he's just going to wander your fucking airport, and that's where we're at. Like, what do you mean it's not your problem?
You can't even direct me to somebody who might be able to help me.
Yeah, you can't we figure something out here? He's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like you can drive your car to the front there and pick him up. I'm like, drive my car to the front. Well, how am I gonna? I'm gonna park there and wait. I'm not allowed to park there. You know that. No one's allowed to park there. You can't park unless they're coming out. I'm not gonna go around 100 times.
Yeah, it's a bad setup.
Yeah. So what the fuck? I mean, that's why I'm paying for fucking parking right now, so I don't have to deal with this bullshit. And he goes, he's like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. I'm like, well, what? And so I keep arguing with the guy, and then he fucking go, and then he's like, oh, he says like, my dad's not. It's like, why is he traveling at 93? I don't understand. I'm like, they'll bring him out in a wheelchair. Don't worry. I'm like, why? And I go, why is my dad in a wheelchair now? What are you talking about? My dad can walk. He said, well, you said he's 93. I'm like, yeah, but he's not gonna know to fucking find me. He's gonna look and not see me, and he's not gonna know what to do. And he calls someone. I think he's calling a manager. He calls the fucking cops.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So the cops are now talking to me, and this guy's being a fucking dick. He goes, he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's that same kind of bullshit. I'm like, and he's like, who was 93? Well, what the hell is he traveling for at 93? I'm like, Jesus Christ, you too? Like, what do you?
The cops, everybody's worried about your dad.
Yeah, it's like, no, he's just, why is he traveling at 93? I'm like, I didn't know that we had a fucking time machine and we can go back in time and get my dad not to fucking travel. Like, the fact is he did, and he's here, and we're now, but you want to go, well, why did you do this? Why were you thinking? He goes, why? You should have made other arrangements. I should have made other arrangements. I'm like, I am the arrangement.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah,
I go,
that's a piss off.
so he goes,
and why would you escalate that? Why wouldn't you just call somebody to be like, you know what, you should go down to fucking Arrivals, and you know there's a lounge there, or call them over the speaker, like something.
There's two cops. They could have went there, found my dad, brought him to me. I knew how to solve the problem. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed, because of coronavirus, I'm not allowed in that fucking building. Period. Okay? Period. So then he says to me, well, you can wait out front right there. I'm thinking the cop didn't understand. It's like, no. So he's like, he goes, oh, this level, I don't know why you're on this level anyways. They're on level 2. This is level 3. I'm like, and my brain's like, he doesn't understand. This is the only way into the building, this tunnel. I'm like, would you think, I'm like, my brain's like, you don't know that there's fucking stairs and elevators in the building? You think everybody goes into only the one level from the outside? Like, I had so much to say to this cop. I knew he was trying to fuck with me. He wanted to get me glippy, and he's just going to arrest me. I knew what was happening.
Right. He's trying to bait you.
Yeah, and I'm like,
He's
okay.
trying to bait you, so he's like, calm down, and he puts his hand on you, and as soon as you like, jerk or something, it's like.
So I was on it too, man. I was like already, I was rattled, but the more I get really focused, the more angry I get. So I'm like, okay, all right. He goes, you can go in front there and wait. He's thinking I can go down a level and go across, but I can't. But he gave me permission to go there. There's the only way I can get to the front of this building was to drive my car around. But now I'm like, I go down and I'm just to see. There's no way to get across. So then I go down to level 1, and I found a door that opens, and I crossed the streets, or almost a little highway in front of the building. I'm not supposed to do this for sure. There's no way. I'm like running across the street with my fucking mask on, and it's all like that. There's a door that's it's indoor, like it's an outdoor. So I go in through the outdoor, like a Zeppelin album, right? But I see these people working. I see someone walks out. The door's open because they're not opening on my end. They walk out. I walk in. I sleep, and now I'm in the fucking building, right? And I'm like, oh, like in my brain, like I'm going to get arrested if they catch me. So I make it up to level fucking 2 now. It's like a video game. I get to level 2. I find the fucking where my dad's coming out. I still have to wait another half an hour. So now I'm like wandering that area, moving around, sitting different places. And I had this yellow shirt on at the time. I took it off and put it in my pocket. Like I felt like I was Jason Bourne from the Bourne Identity. I was just trying to like, if the cops see me, they're going, that fucking guy's in the building. I'm like, so I'm stressed. I'm fucking stressed. And then I wait, literally about an hour goes by, and someone catches me that works down there. It's like, you can't be in here, but you can wait outside and watch for him to come out. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm waiting outside, and then I'm talking to some guy that was beside me, and he's waiting for some dude waiting for his boyfriend, and he's like kicked out too. We're just talking, but I'm watching, and then after a while, buddy, it's basically an hour and a half goes by. So now I'm like, fuck this. I start going in and asking different people questions because I'm like, where's my dad? And I go to Air Canada. I go to the border thing. I go to like the CSI, all those places in the airport where they're like trying to get information about my dad, and no one will give me information about my dad.
Everybody's shutting you down.
Everybody should know because it's privacy. We're not allowed to tell you. We're not allowed to tell you if he was on the plane. We're not allowed to tell you. I'm like, I need to know. I go, my dad's 93. I need to know if my dad's alive. Like you're telling me my dad's. I'm like, at one point I finally talked into a cop. I'm like, oh, I get it. All right, my dad's dead. You can have my dad. You can have my dead dad. Fine. I'll have a fucking funeral. I'll have a coffin with Air Canada on the side of it, and will be nothing in the fucking coffin. And they'll be like, where's your dad? Oh, he's at the fucking airport. They took him. They stuffed him, and they left him in the fucking airport. That's my life? Is that where I'm at? Like, I'm saying this to a cop, and right there my fucking phone rings. It's my fucking dad. I'm like, where the fuck are you? He goes, I'm at Queenston and Nash. Can you pick me up? I'm like, what terminal's that? Queenston Nash. I'm like, you're in Hamilton? So my dad fucking left me at the airport. I was there for 4 hours.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Can you believe that? 4 fucking hours I was at the airport. And
so
my
how
dad,
did he get from the airport to Queenston and Nash?
He took a bus. There's a bus there somewhere that goes back to Hamilton. Right?
He didn't think to call you before? Does he not have a cell phone?
No, he doesn't have a cell phone. He's 93 years old. He said, I asked 3 people. They say no. So I just go. I'm like, you think I would have just, what do you mean? You think I would have just left you to die? You think why would you leave? I'm like, I'm sitting, buddy. At one point I'm thinking like in my head, I'm talking to this dude. And he's like, oh, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. It's like, what are you doing? Actually, I like to hang out at airports. My dad's actually at Hamilton. I'm just here for fun.
yeah.
It's wild. I was so livid. And then like after that, I was so happy. Then after I went to my friend's place and I did like 6 grams of mushrooms.
Just unwind?
Just unwind. Like I was already doing it anyways, but then it was like, oh, I can't wait to take these fucking mushrooms.
Yeah.
So you got this hot temper, right? And have you had it your whole life, or is it something that just kind of developed over time? Do you get it from your dad?
That's a little bit from my dad. It developed. I think that I do find like there was a time where I was a little bit more like half and half. Like I'd have to really get mad to not give a fuck. But I was like, there was a time I think earlier where I'd be like, I don't want to get hurt. I'm like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight anyways. But I would be like, I don't want to get hurt. But I find like the older you get, the less you care about how. Like the fear of dying, the fear of getting hurt, the fear, like I literally don't. It's weird. There's a turning point, I think, in every man's life, and where you're just like, I don't care anymore. And I mean, I care about everything else, but I just don't care about like there's what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is in every man's life, man. I think there's a whole bunch of people who, as they get older, they get frailer and frailer and more afraid, you know?
Oh, yeah?
I definitely think there's also, like, you know, the people who are like, listen, I've been through a lot. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to take any snot from you little puke.
Going for broke.
I think it has to do – sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, I think it has to do with just being a comedian and constantly if people could understand how much shit we have to deal with just to talk just to try to get on stage and be funny. Telling jokes is the easy part.
Oh, everybody's like, I don't know how you do this. It's like, buddy, the stage is easy. You know, it's getting up on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I remember I was waiting for a buddy who was across the street at a bar, and I was picking him up, and he was dragging his feet, and a cop comes over, and he's like, "You can't be here. Let me see your license." And he was like a 23-year-old kid.
Okay.
And I fucking hit the deck. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Are you gonna give me fucking? You know how hard I gotta work to make this money? Are you gonna fucking give me a fucking ticket right now for $200?" And I was just leaning into him so hard, where he was like, "Sir, please, I'm just giving you a warning. Please go." You know?
Oh wow.
It was
wow.
He was just
wow.
So it's true. Like, we're at an age now. Like, you see a 23-year-old cop, and you're like, I get it. He's a cop, but he's a kid.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking, these guys are like more my age, but these two cops at the airport, I had this moment. I'm like, if these two guys weren't cops, I would fight them right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and so I had this moment like, am I gonna fight two cops right now? And I'm like swaying in my brain, like I should just beat this shit. And then I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to pick my dad up if I beat up two cops, right? Like,
but your fucking phone's just blowing up as your name goes across that little City Pulse ticker.
It's going to get pressed any way we can, man. That's
right.
I had an APB out on me years ago. It was like 2 weeks after September 11th. I ran the border with drugs in my car.
Oh, you got to tell this story.
I just got to. I was going to Niagara Falls Yuck Yucks to do a guest spot of all things, just a guest spot. And I was tired. I was working, and instead of going to Fort Erie, I think turn off. I went to the left, Lewiston Bridge, and I didn't realize it. And after a while, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "This doesn't seem right." And I'm like, I'm lost. So I was going to take the next turn off, and then all I see in sign saying 3 kilometers to the U.S. bridge. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to turn off. So I realized I'm going to have to get to the border and do a U-E, because this is a fucked up part. I've done this before, but without drugs in my car. So you just drive past the first booth thing. And then you just do a U-E and blend into the cars coming back from the States, and then you just go through Canadian customs. But at that point, they see that your plate's like, oh wait, you're not fucking. You wouldn't even go over. They can tell, right?
You're not in the computer.
Yeah, what the fuck? Where did you come from, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, same thing happens. I turn around, and I'm thinking I'm cool, and then all of a sudden, like, holy fuck, I got 28 grams of marijuana in the truck of my car.
And then you're sweating.
I'm sweating. I got a half quarter in the front. This is the worst part. I had Ziploc baggies, sandwich baggies, just a pack of Ziploc baggies. So like intent to distribute, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember feeling my fucking heart sinking into my stomach, and I literally was going green. And I go up to the booth, and this girl goes, how long you been over? And what are you doing over there? It's like, and I go, I panic. I just go 2 hours. I say 2 hours. And he goes, what were you doing over there? I go, I had to see a buddy, which is this is the worst thing I could say.
Yeah, like it's a straight drug pickup.
Right? I had to see a buddy. I had to see a friend.
Yeah. And
she's like already like, I've never even seen this before. She gets out of her booth. She goes, open your trunk. And fucking my fucking God, I was so lucky for the fact that I remember I had so much garbage in my trunk at that point that the weed was in the spare tire, but I knew she couldn't lift it to get into the spare tire to find it. So she just looked. She couldn't find anything. She comes back. She writes on a yellow piece of paper, gives it to me. She goes, pull over there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm driving to where they put for them to
rip
check
the car apart. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know, but I'm like, my life is about to be ripped apart. I'm like, I know it's over. I'm like driving. I'm like, my God, my life is literally over. And I was like, I'm looking in my rear view. I see the next car go into the booth. As soon as that happens, I fucking go left and just start going on the highway. I leave.
Yeah.
I run. I'm literally running the border.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a 93 blue Honda Civic, okay? And 4-cylinder, and I'm sorry, I just put my fuck.
It's not moving. You probably got that thing to the ground, and it's
right,
not moving. Right.
Yeah, I got it right, and I get this thing. I couldn't believe it. I'm just driving. I have no plan yet. I'm just literally running the fucking law, and I'm like, I get the thing. I couldn't believe it. I get the thing up to 190. I'm at 190. Think about that. And then the car goes like the engine fucking gives up. And I go, so I go down to 180 and I'm okay. So I stay at 180. And I'm at 180. And for some reason, like the universe is kind of helping me out because there's no cars in the left lane, all in the right. So I'm just going, but I'm going by cars like this, like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody's probably going, what the fuck was that? I'm like,
everything you're passing's a blur.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm like, do I pull over and get rid of the drugs and continue driving, or try to make it back to Yuck Yucks? So
you didn't want to throw away that 28 grams, though.
Right? Right? I'm already gone.
You can't. The financial commitment of the fucking ounce.
I throw away the half quarter in the front seat because it's in my bag. So I threw that out the window. Keep driving. I make it back to Yuck Yucks. I fucking come in like a fucking bullet. I pass everyone with this fucking ounce in my hand. I go to the back bathrooms, single bathrooms, but they have, the ceilings that open up. So I open the ceiling up, put the fucking weed in there. I come back. I just hide it right away before I even talk to anybody because I figure now it's gone.
Right.
And I go, there's this comedian, it's Angelo Zarukis, Tom Stayed. Yeah, amazing. And Frank Spadone. That's who's on the show. Yeah. Amazing, those three guys are on the same show. Yeah. They're all on the show. And I get Tom Stayed and the manager together. I go, okay, guys, listen. They're like, what? This is what happened. And they're like, I tell them, and they're like, well, why? He goes, why would you do that? I'm like, dude, already did it. What do we do now? What do I do now? Like, I don't think you understand the point. The point of me telling the story that it was a joyful story. Ha ha ha. The cops are probably after me. What do I do? And he goes, Tom State goes, just go back, man. Tell me you had a joint. I'm like, no, that's no.
Why?
No, you're done. Go away. You're done. I have no use for you now. And then the manager's like, let's call him and say you were going to be late for the show, so you just left because I told you were going to get fired. I thought, great. So he called the police and told them what was going on. Yeah. And we have a guy he left the border because he got lost, and he's a comedian. And right away they go, Blue Honda Civic. Yeah, it's like Manolis Zontanos. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we have an APB on him. Where are you? Yeah, okay, we'll be right over. Fucking 3 cop cars show up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And because everybody there too, like half of the people there, like that were working, everybody's like, it's like, no. They're all like, no, that didn't. Like, you're full of shit, Manolis. And all of a sudden 3 cop cars show up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still thinking like, I don't know the law. I'm thinking I'm gonna go to jail for running the border now, right? So I try to explain them the situation that we just made up without talking about drugs, and I'm like, I just kind of, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. I just kind of left, I just left because I was gonna get fired. I don't know what to do, and I made one of the cops laugh a bit, and I was like, okay. I think I'm okay right now, all right? And that's the cop he goes, we're going to go back to the border. You're going to follow me with your car, and they're going to search it. I'm like, okay. So we go back to the border, and at that point, I'm like this cop. I'm like talking to him now a bit. I'm like, listen, man. I go like this. I go, whatever you. I go, whatever. I say this to him. I swear to God, I say, whatever you do, man, don't leave me. Promise me you're not going to leave me. He's like, all right, well, promise me. All right. He goes, all right, I won't leave you. Relax. Okay. I go, okay. So now I'm sitting, waiting. He's talking to this border guard, and I'm like in earshot, so I'm not looking at them, but I'm listening. And they're like, I checked out his story. It seems it seems legit. I think it really just happened what he says. And he goes, in all honesty, man, I just think this guy's a fucking retard.
Yeah.
He literally says fucking. He's like, he says the word fucking retard. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and at no point I'm gonna go, hey. I'm like, yep. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Bottle up the temper this time.
Yeah, that's right.
No. And then he fucking takes me. They take my car, they search it and find nothing. Thank God, obviously. But they fucking gave me a $200 fine for leaving the border. And they told me I only didn't go to jail because we called them.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow. That was quick thinking, because I would have just prayed for it to go away.
Yeah, I don't know. I just tried, and then I was too paranoid to leave with the weed, so I sold. It's funny that I don't think Kenny knows. You know Kenny Robinson?
Yeah.
Yep.
That ounce actually I was holding it. I was supposed to sell it to Kenny Robinson, and I just hadn't seen him yet, so I just left it in my trunk, and that's why it was there. And so I just that night I sold it to Tom Stade. I said, "Hey, I'm like, I got to get rid of this thing, right? It's bad karma or bad or whatever." I go, "Hey man, do you want to buy an ounce for $100?" He goes, "Yeah." And he just gave me $100 for an ounce, which is it was a
Paid
good
half
deal.
your fine.
Yeah, and that was that.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a perfect flight story.
For sure.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, you've been around. How long have you been doing stand up for? Like, you've got a ton of road stories, I'm sure. Like, how long have you been doing stand up?
I'm gonna say, hang on, May 10th, 1998 was my first show.
Wow.
98. So what's that? 22 years or 21 years?
Yeah, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've known you since like the first year I started. So.
Yeah, same thing. Me too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's weird, man. My comedians are my favorite people in the world, but there's like a lot of cheese doodles out there. But like the good ones, the cool ones, you just talk to them. You're just so happy to see them. And you're just like, where there's this weird like brotherhood. And you're just on the same you just fit. You know what I mean? You just like, there's something so beautiful. That's one of the things I think keeps me going. Is like, at least there's enough cool comedians that I can deal with this, you know?
Yeah, I've done a couple of shows throughout this pandemic, and it's crazy, like how happy everybody is to see each other, even if you don't know the person that well. It's just like
yeah,
it's like instant fucking friendship, you know?
Yeah,
Kept talking 6 months ago.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I said last night, I was like, listen, guys, I don't want to go back to hating everybody. I like this feeling, man.
Yeah. That's what I need. Like, I love getting along with you. Tyler. I love those gigs I do with you. Like, obviously I love, making money and doing the gigs, but I enjoy the hang more.
Yeah. John's done all those gigs too, like the Belleville gig and obviously Muskoka and stuff. Yeah, that's always a good hangout.
You're a fun hang.
Yeah, Tyler brings the party.
I'm the best. Fuck.
Yeah, I love the party, and you're like I have a buddy, Mike Senior. He's like you, like he can drink like you, and it's weird. Like if I drink when I drink as much as him, I just at a certain point I'm like I'm ready to pass out, and you drink like you've been doing blow,
and then he'll wake up at 7 a.m.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I'd be doing this guy's festival. I go to bed. He's drinking at the fire. I wake up at 7 or something, and he's milling around the house. I'm like, what the fuck, buddy? When do you sleep? He is the most functional alcoholic I've ever met.
Yeah. I don't know where. Yeah. I don't know where this
gift and a curse.
The secret energy do you have?
Yeah.
I'm jealous of it, to tell you the truth.
I don't know, man. It's a good time anyway.
You're like I don't know either, but I'm not fucking jinxing it. I'm just gonna keep it going.
Yeah. He's like, hey,
good.
Hey, we could talk about fights and whores. That's fine, but my alcoholism, I never know when the wife's gonna pop in the room.
Oh man.
got another.
Yeah, come on, lay it on us.
More, yeah. Hit us with what you got.
Oh, this one. All right, this one's really crazy. I don't even know if you know this one, but I was doing a show at a shitty open mic also, and some guy shows up with this chick. So this chick brings this guy because there was a comedian on the show, and the comedian was friends with this girl's ex-boyfriend. So she showed up at the show to try to make her think that it'll get back to her ex-boyfriend to make him jealous. So this guy didn't even care about the show, and it's just a light show. Everybody's spread in a shitty bar, and they're in the front row by themselves, and they won't stop talking to each other, right? And I'm like trying to like, hey man, if you want to talk, can you just go back to the room? They're not even heckling me; they're just talking to each other while I'm trying to. Like, why don't you just go? Like, I don't understand what you don't want to listen to me, so just go back there and talk. You don't need to be right. He's like, well, make me or something. I'm like, fuck you, make me, something like that. The guy says to me, and I'm like, I did the same thing. I'm like, dude, all right, if you want to fight, we can fight. Like, and he goes, okay, and I'm like, oh, we're doing okay. So I get off the stage. And I go out. I'm thinking in my head, I'm just going to go outside and fight this guy because it just makes more sense to me, more room, right? I go outside. I don't realize someone told me.
Agreement.
Yeah. I didn't realize this happened as I got. So I get off the stage. As he gets up, he takes a knife and puts it on the like he thinks he's like a rock star. Takes his knife, puts it on the table, and then comes outside to fight me, thinking like I'm gonna have to beat the shit out of the guy. I don't want to bring my knife because I don't want to kill him. Like. Yeah. Whatever, dude, right? So he comes out, and I'm like trying to square up, ready to fight this guy, and he comes running out right away, right out the door, and runs right at me. And he tries to hit me like that, and as soon as he tries to hit me, I just do this at the last second, and he punches me, kind of like skins me like that, grazes me, but because he's running. He tackles me at the same time, and now he's on my chest, and I fall back. He falls. He's a bit bigger than me, heavier, a little taller. But he falls on me, and now I'm on my back, and his weight is all on my fucking body. And as that's happening, he quickly gets up, and he's trying to put his knees on my shoulders because he wants to start feeding me. That's his plan. Yeah, and I realize what's happening. I go like this. So as he's trying to hold me like this on his knees, I put my hands, I grab him like by his collar, and I go like this. I know he can't hit me if he's close. So I go, whoo! I pull him back down. I pull him right back on my chest. But as I pull him on my chest, his arm right here fucking was here. And in my head, I was like, I was already done. And I was like, fuck this. So I went like this one. I grabbed him right here with my mouth.
Nice.
Like, right, as much as I could. I had all the veins. You know those veins right here? Yeah. I had the veins in my mouth, and I'm like,
squeezing it.
Like that. And he's like caught now. He's like, and he's going, he's screaming.
He's screaming?
Curling. Screaming. Yeah. He's like, like this.
You just had to move to the back, buddy.
Yeah. Right? And then some comic pulled him off of me, and I didn't let go, so his skin slid out of my mouth, like that, and and then this comic pulled him off of me, and he's on his back. The comic had him like this and had him on his back, but at that point, I was like blacked out with anger, that I didn't even realize. I don't even realize someone had a hold of him. But in his defense, he's being held down now, so I have this upper advantage. But I just literally get up, crawl up on top of him like this. Because I already bit him once, and now in my head, I had this vision in my head. I'm going to bite a chunk of his chest off and spit it in his face. That was my plan.
So creative.
Yeah. So I grab his chest and I do this, like I put it together like I'm about to eat a sandwich. I don't just bite his chest. I make it stick out so I can get it farther into my mouth.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing, but this time I got like tons of his chest in my mouth. I do that. I go, clock. I go, like this. And he's like, screaming. and I'm trying all with my might
rip it off.
To rip it off, and it wouldn't rip off. Maybe because of the T-shirt. I think I was close.
Yeah.
Then people got involved, and people that worked there, they pulled me off of him, and the same thing, I slid out of my mouth, and I'm like like this, and he's like, and he goes, the guy's like, fuck, all right, I just want to go home. What the fuck? And then my friend found his keys, threw in the garbage, so he couldn't go home right away. And then he decides to call the cops, and he calls the ambulance and the cops. And and then the cops show up, and they check his chest out. It's like flesh is hanging off his body, and the cops are like talking to me and talking to him, and like this is a very saving fun. Like I have a lot of luck for the bad shit. There's cameras. So the cameras show him attacking
the door.
Yeah. So by law, he fucking started it, like physically. You know what I mean? So there was no, because I thought I was gonna get charged with like what do you call it? Like just biting someone. But he couldn't. If he charged me, I could charge him. So they're like, "Do you want to charge him? But he's gonna charge you if you charge him." The cops just trying to get.
Oh yeah, the cops are just trying to like let's get out of here, dude.
Yeah, cops like I don't. But the cops are like, I don't know what they're trying to talk to me, and then they're like, I don't know what you're doing, man. Like, what is it? What you fucking you're just biting people? Like that's crazy. You know that, right? And I'm like, I wanted to be like, go fuck yourself, cunt. What do you mean crazy? Fuck you. Like I'm like, but I'm like, it's a cop now. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But like, fucking no.
That was crazy. The sign of a true crazy person when somebody calls you crazy and you get offended. Like usually if somebody goes, "You're crazy," you're like, "Yeah, I'm crazy." But like really crazy people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?"
Yeah, I didn't bite. I literally and I was just okay, yeah. And then he finally left, and I remember this one. I was like so mad that night, but I remember the one thing. There was all this blood in my mouth from him. Yeah. And I thought at that point, this is crazy. Actually, this is gonna be crazy. I thought in my head, like if I got something now, like say hepatitis from this guy or whatever, I already have it. So I'm just gonna enjoy this. So I left. I didn't wash my mouth out for another half an hour. Like I savored.
You just started walking around tasting his blood.
I savored his blood in my mouth for like another half an hour before I started. Yeah, is that fun? I know that's crazy. I know that makes me crazy. Like I didn't get
about a pimp.
I know, right? I don't know. I can't do it. I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll tell that. Maybe I'll tell that story another episode.
There you go, man.
But me and that guy kind of like the only thing I will say is he, in his defense, I had the upper hand for my friend holding him down. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the second bite. And I don't know. I probably wouldn't have bit him if we just fought. So I don't feel really any remorse. If you just squared up with me and fought me instead of trying to tackle me and play dirty, you know? So like I'm like, you're playing dirty, I'm gonna play dirty. You know?
Oh dude, I'm in it to win it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the fucking craziest one. But I got more if you want.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Yeah.
Okay. And then I started working at these different dispensaries like the last couple of years. Well, now they're all closed because they're against the law, but I had all these friends that are involved in dispensaries and they pulled me in. I was working and I had this one job where like the place got broken into. This place called Blue Ox got broken into at gunpoint, like while working hours, and I wasn't there. They got robbed, and they made them all paranoid, and then so they started having a night shift guy. So like someone had to be there from 12 at night till like 8 in the morning, and then the guy that was doing it, I was doing the shifts to make extra money. I would do Friday and Saturday night shifts.
Yeah.
The guy during the week, he just kind of like didn't want to do it anymore, so he bailed. And I told him, I'm like, I know this is gonna end, so I'm like, hey, I'll do it 7 days a week. and Matt Ferguson, it said, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And I'm like, "That's crazy." I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna make all the money I can because I know this is ending.
Right.
So I'm working midnight to or basically midnight to 8, and then just like, and I'm like 5 months in, and I'm going crazy. I'm literally going crazy because I'm doing the same thing. It's Groundhog Day,
Yeah.
and I'm up till like 8 in the morning, sleeping all day, but I'm making like, some bank, This one night, it's like fucking 4 a.m. Some guy comes to the front door and starts banging on it, like, bow, 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 bow.
This is in Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
Hamilton's
Right by
a little fucking dicey.
Hamilton's
Yeah.
a tough town.
Yeah.
It is a tough town.
My dad's house. My dad lived in Hamilton for a little while. Fucking whole house got robbed. Cleaned them out.
Sounds about right.
In Barton Village.
He so this guy's banging the front door. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look, there's these like front like windows, there's like, it's almost like a display window.
Mhm.
So I look through, I'm like, I go, bud. I go, we're closed. We're closed. He goes, and some drunk guy, some bum, basically, but he's like drunk.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Bums are
he wants to come. He goes, it'd be nice to fucking know. He yells. I'm like, all right, I guess there's a plethora of weed stores open at 4 a.m. I'm the asshole. We're the only, like, they're all closed, bud. But I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, bud. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Fuck you. And he bangs the window, and the window goes wah 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 wah. I'm like, hey dude, don't bang the window. And he bangs the window again. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do? Call the cops? Fuck you. You're gonna call the cops? He bangs the window again, but he's hitting it really hard to the point where like, holy shit, it's gonna break. And I'm like, how? I can't even believe it's not breaking.
Yeah.
Right? But he's like, bang, fuck you. I'm like, dude, stop. And then he goes to the front of the window. He's like, bang, bang, bang. So I like open the side. I open the door to go outside now. The first door, I have a bat, and I'm like, I point the guy. He's now in front of the building. I point the bat at him. I'm like, dude, enough. Don't stop now. And he goes, what are you gonna do? Hit me with the bat? Fuck you, hit me with the bat. And then like right there, I'm like, I'm not gonna hit this guy with a bat. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like he called my bluff. I'm like, I'm gonna kill him if I hit him with a bat, right? I wanted to, but I'm like, he's gonna be dead. And it's just, I go, dude, just get the fuck out of here. Just get the fuck out of here, all right? He goes, what are you gonna do? Fuck you. What are you gonna do? Call the cops? Fuck you. And he grabs this, those things you put your smokes into when you're done, those little stands, like a smoke. Yeah. It's plastic. He grabs it. It's right by him, and he whips it at me. Tries to hit me with it.
Now you gotta hit him with the bat.
Yeah, it hits my car. He doesn't realize he's standing between the building and my car's parked in the front of the place. He's between the two. But it hits my car and bounces past me. And I just had this moment like, all right, fuck this. I just walk up to him. I walk right up to him. And I go, whap, like this, as hard as I can. And he falls to the ground. No, he doesn't fall. I'm sorry. He falls on my car. He falls like this on my car. And in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck, he's still up. But I wasn't thinking because my car's holding him up. But he was like this. And then but my car's holding him up, and I just fucking square up, and I go, wow. So I hit him like 1, 2. I had it like 14 times in a row. But I'm just like, bam, bam, bam. I'm doing like this. I'm going, bam, 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 bam. And he's going. He falls off my car. Slides off my car, and he grabs my T-shirt, and my T-shirt rips open, comes off my body. He's trying to, not even trying to hurt me. He's trying to slow his fall down. My shirt comes off me like butter, and then he gets up and he walks around my car, and he's like this. He's like doing this, and then he goes, "What the fuck? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" I go, "What? What? Because you just assaulted me."
Unbelievable.
Right? And he goes like this, "You just assaulted me." I'm like, "Yeah?" He goes, "I'm going to call the cops." And that's my favorite moment because I go, "What? You're going to call the cops? I thought you wanted me to call the cops." What are you're gonna call him now? I don't get it. I'm being a cunt, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, just give me a joint. Just give me a joint and I'll leave. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. I go in, I grab a joint. I go, here. He goes, no. Put it on the ground. He wouldn't take it out of my hand.
Yeah.
He's afraid of me, right? So I throw it on the ground. He grabs it and he walks away, but all like walking away all fucked up. He's I'm like, fucking, that was the best. Like the joint was like, that was the best $5 I ever spent in my life. Because like, I gave a $5 joint to this guy, and I got to beat the shit out of him for fucking a minute.
Yeah. The only other place that could happen is in a hockey game where you have like you live consequence free like that, you know.
Oh yeah. It's the Hamilton version of bum fights.
Yeah, there's a ton of fucking homeless people in Hamilton, man. I remember my dad lived in Barton Village, and I went to the mall there, and I parked, and one person asked me for change, and I was like, yeah, bro, I can't help you. Another person asked me for change. I turned around, there was like 5 more people coming, dude. It was like a zombie apocalypse.
You know what? Sometimes what I don't understand about fighting is it's not that I'm pro fighting or against it, but I think of it like you do it when you have to protect yourself. What other choice do you have? But I'm more fascinated with the fact that people want to start things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why so many people want to start shit for whatever.
Yeah, I've never been a guy that wants to start it up unless there's a reason that like you have to start something.
Well, yeah, if he crosses you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why people want to start things. Alcohol.
Yeah.
That's why I started them all.
But I don't know. If I get drunk, I calm down.
Yeah, me too. Well, a little bit.
Yeah. No, but I don't think
fight when I'm drinking. Like I've been in many fights because of drinking, but like not.
You don't want to start it.
Yeah. I'm not out picking fights, right?
I used to get drunk and pull my dick out, and I would do like this thing, baby brains, and I would squish my balls up through my fists so that my balls were coming up the top of my fist, like it looked like a little brain, right? And the gag on baby brains, like my buddies would go to like chicks at the bar, and he'd be like, "You guys want to see a trick?" And they'd be like, "I don't know," and then they'd be like, "Show them the trick," and I'd be like, I'm not showing. And then like the ruse was to get them to ask for it, right? So then finally when they're begging, you just turn around and it's your balls, and like half the time it's a laugh, half the time they're like, "Fuck," you know, like these days, dude, I'd be on the news if it was these days, you know. But I remember one time I was like fucking terrorizing a bar, just like dropping my balls on people's table, like on a bound, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then somebody would say something, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to see my balls?" Just fucking nail them, dude. You know, all alcohol induced, dude. Just terrorizing people, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so wild. It's all so wild, right?
It is.
I don't know. I like I said, I think it's so easy to just like avoid it all, but like it's just when it comes up, you just gotta, I guess, fucking deal with it and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's nice to know it's still in the chamber. It's nice.
Yeah,
you still got one in the chamber, you know.
Did you have a lot of fights when you were younger that kind of gave you the confidence that if you
not real, no, barely, not probably way less. Like I think the more fights I've dealt with in my life had to do with in my older years than my younger years for some reason. I did get a fight when I was, I think, in my 20s, and I even got like it was like no one really got punched out, but after it was done, he fucking busted my nose.
Yeah,
and I was like, that really fucking. I had to go get my nose like moved back, and I had black eyes, like, you know what I mean, like, but I think like.
So after that moment, were you like, that's not so bad?
No, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it kind of hurt. I was like, didn't like it. I felt bumped out because like my nose is so sore, and I had to like go. This was more like I had to go see a doctor, and I had to go get surgery to break it back, and
yeah,
it was just I didn't like all that headache over that bullshit.
Process. Yeah, it's the
process. The fight was fine, but it's like, but yeah, your ego definitely.
But it didn't cure you of it. You know, obviously you did it again.
Right. But it's like,
in
Go ahead.
stand-up, we're touring and we're going to all these different places where we don't know people. We're, the outsider coming into town. There's people that, when you're the star of the night, the people from that.
Buddy, Bob Seger turned the page.
That's right. That's right.
He's outnumbered.
That's right. No, it's so true. And you're the guy that's the star that night. Some guy's girlfriend's looking at you the wrong way. Like it puts a target on you.
But then also, and I wanted to say this, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say this earlier about the guy who was, talking shit to you at the open mic. I think people assume that because like we're entertainers or we're comics that we're fucking
pussies.
ding-dongs. Exactly, right? And they're like, look at these fucking guys. And like they don't know. It's like, no, dude. some of these fucking guys come from like fucking bar grizzled families,
Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to be able to go up there and like not just get a laugh, but be okay with tanking even. Like there's like our souls are stronger than you think. Like your soul is like more important than like how strong or good of a fighter you are. Like that means shit if you're not. But if we're willing to tank, we're also willing. We're willing to risk things.
Right, you're willing to lay it out there.
That's right. Yeah, I feel like I feel like one of my strengths in stand-up, being comfortable up there, is that if this goes wrong and I have to fight someone, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah. And I've let a few people know that too.
Yeah, like knowing
like, buddy,
knowing that you're comfortable taking it to the street if someone is offended by a dirty joke or a dark joke.
And you know what? We're more often than not, we're our own bouncers.
That's true.
Yeah,
there's not somebody in the club going, "Shh, can you keep it down, please?" It's like you're up there by yourself. Maybe you're there with the buddy.
Oh, I should tell you.
Some of the cupcake comedians that get pushed along by the industry, they would die on the road.
Oh, buddy, they hear a blender and they shit their pants.
That made me think of this one thing. I was at Just for Laughs, and Russell Peters was on stage doing a gala.
Nice.
And it's the Club Soda, and I'm just at the sidelines watching, and then it was just after SARS happened, and someone from the audience for some reason kept yelling the word SARS out during a set. Some guy heckling, just going SARS. I'm like, why? Like, and then Russell saw where that was coming from, and like the guy goes. He deals with him, and the guy stops, and he starts to do his setup again, and the guy yells out SARS again. So the second time he yelled it out, I saw the area. Then the third time, so he does it a third time. The third time I saw him. He had a baseball cap, and he did this SARS, and he went like this, and he went like low.
His
chair.
Fucking coward.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking got you. Right? So I fucking start beelining it to him. I walk right over to him. And Russell, I fucking knew. He told me after. He saw me walk over. So he didn't stop doing stand-up. He kept going. And I walk up to this guy, I get right in his fucking grill. Like I get my face right in his fucking grill. And I go, hey man, can't be yelling shit out during the show. Are we good? You understand me? And he goes, I'm just having fun, bud. All right? What are you going to do? I'm just having fun. I go, no, you're not yelling out stuff during the show anymore. Do you understand me? Do we understand each other right now? And I'm like, and he's trying to like look in my eyes to try to break me. Like,
right. To intimidate you.
He's trying to think. He's like, not saying a word. And I'm like, you look like, it looks like I'm ready to make out with this guy. That's how close I am. Like, I'm like, all right, your move. Yeah. I'm waiting for another answer. Yes or no. And he just goes, he breaks his look. He goes, all right, I'll stop. I'm like, yeah, that's right. You're fucking stop. And I'm going to be right there, watching you for the rest of this fucking show. Just you fucking know that. All right, cunt? And I walk back, and I stand there like a fucking guard dog looking at this guy for another 5 minutes until Russell was done.
Yeah.
And then I left. And then Russell was like, yeah, actually Russell's like cool enough to actually say thank you for that.
Yeah.
Right?
As you should.
Yeah. But like, it's like a bit of like, I don't know, you want to think like I can handle my shit, but it's like it wasn't bullshit. He wasn't really heckling. He's just yelling a word out. No one at Club Soda knew what to fucking deal with hecklers.
There's certain types of hecklers too that are like deliberate hecklers, not just like a drunk guy or not someone that's been triggered by something. Someone who's there to cause shit is the worst type of heckler because they're the motherfuckers. I was doing a show in Niagara Falls at Yuck Yucks, and there was a guy heckling, and you couldn't see him from the stage. He was off to the right side of the stage in the dark, and you just can't see him. And he's not giving out the real answers. So like I asked him what his name was, and he's like Randy, and I'm like, what do you do? He's like trailer park supervisor. So he's pretending to be one of the trailer park boys. He's not giving any real information to work. Right. And I'm just like, fuck this guy, right? So I'm like about to just kind of walk away from it, but he was heckling the guy who was opening up, and he didn't deal with him, so I could tell the crowd wanted this guy's fucking blood. Like they wanted this guy's head. So I was just like, okay, if I back off on him now, the crowd is not going to respect me anymore. I have to deal with this. So I go one more time back. I'm like, who are you with? He's like, I'm like, do you always embarrass your family when you come out with them? And I go, who are you with? He's like, my uncle. I'm like, oh, so that's who molested you. And then now I got him, right? And I just start, just lacing into him. And like I walked them out of the room. They started leaving. But those people that are, they're consciously trying to cause shit.
Oh yeah, you gotta break them
to get to, because he's just giving false information. It's a waste of time. You're wasting the audience's time. And
it's the same people that are trying to start fights in the general public. It's the same type of person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shit disturbers.
Yeah, I think we're also. It's like I think like I'm dealing with more shit in my later years than my early years, partly because I think the world's gone crazier, and we live in a time where like this is the shitty part. Is like if you have to be like. So we're not obviously like it's like a Mad Max kind of world, but we're like it's more like getting to that where it's like if you don't show yourself as a strong person in the general public in somewhat way, people, those fucking evil people, like trying to find the weak to try to manipulate her.
I shut that shit down immediately.
And the other thing is this: we live in a world now where fighting isn't as prominent out on the street. You don't see it as often. It used to be, probably you guys, or Manolis, you're a bit older than I am, but it would be more commonplace if some guy's being a dick to just go, let's go outside and fucking fight. And you'd scrap, and then it would probably be over, probably no weapons.
Now nobody's checking these guys, so they're running around.
That's right. A lot of cocky little motherfuckers who have never been punched in the face before, and they know that the law is going to get involved. No one wants to get charged. The second it got,
those are the guys just like the bum. It was like, I'm going to call the cops. They push you, and then you pop, and then they want to call the cops.
Now you're the victim. You're the victim.
So many little rats out there and they're always the mouthpieces, and they go unchecked, and it sucks because those are the guys that need a punch in the fucking head. Like any guy that would fight me, I'd probably be friends with him.
Yeah.
Anyone that would step up and scrap you fair one-on-one, they're probably an okay guy or a good enough guy. Like I can respect the ethics or that code. But the other guys that are, they love to run their mouths, and then they think no one's going to hit them. People get shocked pretty quick though when you go from 0 to 60 on
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta make that choice too, where it's like you can't just like you want to fucking go. Sometimes you just gotta go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta do it because some people you don't realize, like if you give a person a second like that, like next thing you know you're getting stabbed.
Yeah. Or even if they get the jump on you, dude, you're gonna be on your back before you know it, and wishing for a rematch,
My last physical altercation was in a bar in Toronto that's just, I heard it's closing down, Sneaky D's. Everyone was posting their memorials for Sneaky D's in Toronto, but that was my last one. And there's a guy, and he just, I said something to him, and he's like, what'd you fucking say, you fucking faggot? Like, he gets, like, right in my face. And
first of all, how did he even know?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I was wearing a belly top, but he got so aggressive in my face, and so I just grabbed him right by the throat, and I just squeezed right on his Adam's apple, and he clamps up, and I just threw him as hard as I could with one hand. He just goes flying right on his back, just so hard, and that was my last altercation. But it was just one of those guys. He did not expect that someone was actually going to call that bluff, and he was totally one of those.
Yeah.
Those
he probably did that to 5 other people, and they were all like,
off of intimidating someone, but then they don't actually expect to have to back it up, and it was
right.
Last weekend. You know Moise, the comedian, black dude?
Who's this?
His name's Moise. I forget. I don't actually know his last name. I just call him Moise.
Okay.
He's been around for a couple of years. He's a really funny kid. Early 20s. We're all hanging out at Levity afterwards, and there's this one guy that keeps coming that knows Patrick, but he's okay. This guy's a bit of a weirdo, and he's an alcoholic, and he's just a fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And I keep telling Patrick, this guy keeps bringing weird people by with them, like he's making friends with street people, homeless people of sorts, and he brings them with him because he's got no real friends, so he's just partying with these fucking losers.
Yeah.
So this loser shows up. And he goes like this. I could tell something's off about this guy, maybe mental health or something. But I'm trying to stay away from him because I don't want him to trigger me. And let's stay away. And all of a sudden, I see him look at Moise. I can see I'm like on the other side of the bar, but I see him looking at Moise like this, like he's ready to fucking kill him or something or punch him out. So I walk around. I walk in front of Moise and I look at this guy. I'm in the eyes like, is there a fucking problem, bud? Are we good? Is there a problem? Good. And I actually put my hand on his shoulder, and he goes, "Yeah, why are you touching me? Who the fuck are you? Why are you touching me?" I'm like, "Who am I?" And I just go off like this, and he goes, I fucking own this fucking place. That's who the fuck I am. I said, "Now you got a fucking problem? What the fuck's going on?" Like this, right? And he's like, "Oh no, okay, everything's fine. I'm sorry, and that was it. He backed down like a bitch, but like he was like just everybody's like what you're saying. Like as soon as they're like, everybody's like crazy and they're bully. There's so many bullies, and these bullies, they just as soon as you're like, "Hey, boo," and you're like, "Huh? Oh, boo." Like what? Why are you more scared than me?
Yeah,
you're the one
bringing the heat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's so funny. Some of these guys that'll yip out. There's a dude fucking shit talking me at Yuck Yucks one time he was with another comic and he had a cane and he was trying to intimidate me and I was like, "Buddy, I'll fucking drag you up those fucking steps and I'll fucking turn that cane into a wheelchair, you fucking cunt." Like it's just they back off the second you fucking go to the next level because they just expect that they can get away with talking shit.
Yeah, because there's some other comic with folded at some point in time,
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I was driving with Patrick Coppolino down Lawrence Road in Hamilton.
Yep.
And this guy starts riding my ass like a motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy doing? Right? It's Sunday morning, just like, and I go, "Hang on, dude."
Late for church.
Yeah, I'm like, "Hang on, dude." I said to Patrick, "Just what? Just hang on." And I fucking slammed my brakes on. Like slam them on, trying to get him to smash his car into me. Like, "Fuck it, let's do this," right? He goes around me, and now he's in front of me, and the next light is red. It's raining a little bit. This is great. I catch up to him. I just became friends with Patrick at this point. I've known Patrick maybe 6 months. So he's like, Patrick's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? He's like, So I drive up to this car.
Getting the full Manolis.
Yeah, I drive around the car, like against traffic. I drive my car in front of his car. Now I'm in the walk, the crosswalk? Yeah. I'm in the crosswalk. I put my car in front of his car. Patrick's door is like almost touching this guy's bumper. Like I've completely blocked this guy in the middle of the road. I get out of my car. I walk around my car and I'm ready to open this guy's door and just like destroy him. I'm like, I'm done. Right. As I walk around to open this guy's door, I'm just about at his door. The car goes back. He backs up and he drives over the sidewalk of the corner of the intersection, over some guy's lawn and a sidewalk, and takes off. So then I'm like, I get back in my car, I go right, I follow him. The next set of light, there's six cars in front of him, and he's the 7th car, I'm the 8th car, and the light's red. So same thing, I get out of my car, I walk up to the car, like I'm ready to do the same thing.
T1000.
He drives his car up the road now. Half his car is on the road, the other half is on the sidewalk. He drives like that. And then I'm like, at that point, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm like,
you should have been after the first one, dude. That was a big win.
It was good. I was like, I thought I could still get him.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to be.
What was your buddy Patrick saying when you got in the car? He was like,
Coppolino was like, that was fucking crazy. That was fucking crazy. I blocked it. It was funny thing. I blocked him. Like, Patrick couldn't help me because I blocked him in the car. He couldn't even get out of the car. It was all me. And the funny thing was, you know what the funny part? We know where we were going. There was some charity event at This Ain't Hollywood, and the celebrity guest meet and greet thing to raise money for a charity was the big pussy from The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Big pussy from Sopranos. I don't know his real name. So I was literally going to say hi to
Big pussy.
It's a big pussy.
Yeah. So fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Pops.
I just bring you
my dad. Dad, come over here for a sec. I know, just come here and say hi. This is my dad. My dad's 93 years old.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Look there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Did you get in any fights in Greece
Sorry.
Did you get in any fights in Greece?
as a boy?
As a boy, you ever get in any fights? You ever fight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got a fight. I got everything.
You got a lot of fights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One guy has got something to kill me in the Greece. You know what he say, the girl? He say, I push the brake. I put the brake. Yeah, you put the brake, but excuse me, who give you the license? That's the guy's giving the license. He works for you. Bye. So I give you right to the hospital. Why? You be after say that I got the corona, the sickness. Damn Greeks. I say, bye. I say, good night, guys.
Good night. Good night, Dad.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So that's where you get it.
Yeah. My dad was 11. When my dad was 11 years old in Greece, he was stealing Nazi shit from like underneath like army tents, like, and selling it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they somehow there's this guy, older kid, that ratted him out to the Nazis. Just like is trying to, some Greek kid, like just trying to make a buck. Maybe it's like, hey, you want some? So they came to my dad's house to look if my dad had any shit. So my dad's sister saw them coming because he wasn't home. He had a Nazi coat, some kind of jacket or something.
Yeah.
So my aunt threw it out the back window and then ran with it and hid it. And then they came and they grabbed a friend of him and him. And they took him on top of a building that was 3 floors up. And he's like 11. I think he's 12 years old. So my dad's like, wow, like he's thinking, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So they were like, the soldiers downstairs, they're on this roof by themselves. They're like, there's no way off this roof. It's a flat roof. So he's like in his head, like, I might as well jump because I'm going to die. So he hung off the edge of the roof. It's still high because it's 3 floors.
Yeah.
And he landed in like kind of like these flowers and like dirt. He landed on dirt, but he actually didn't break his legs. And this kid, and I'm like, you coming? He's like, no, it's too high. I'm not doing it. So he left this kid behind and he dropped and left and ran for fucking life. And then he saw this kid 3 days later. It's like, what the fuck? You're okay? What happened? He goes, so they just let me go.
After you jumped out the window.
Yeah. They came up and you go home now. They just let him go.
Yeah. That was like, they were probably like, after your dad bailed, they're like, well, I don't know what to do, man. It's over.
It's over.
We've got no threat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, we lost you on the video, buddy.
I don't know. What should I do?
Down at the bottom of your screen, there should be a thing that says "Start Video." Maybe.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, there it worked. Awesome.
All right. Any have you ever seen any other comics getting any tilts?
Oh,
there you go again.
Oh wait, hang on. I'm trying to think. There, I'm back. Why does it keep doing that, guys?
I don't know.
Hang on, let me try something here.
No worries. I'm trying to get that cricket. Can you hear it, John?
No.
Okay, good.
There, how's that?
All right, you're good. You're back.
Okay.
Better angle.
Yeah, I can't think of any fights actually off the top of my head that like I've seen other comedians have. Have you?
I don't think so. I've heard of them all, but somehow I managed to miss
I've seen a couple.
Yeah.
But
there was one in Sweden, didn't you have something, or was it Scandinavia when you were with Rouse?
Oh yeah, that was fucking crazy. Now I can't believe all these stories. It's like fucking. There's a lot of shit. I'm saying, like everybody knows me that I hang out with is like I'm like when they find out some
5 more after.
Yeah, like they're thinking like this Manolis is so chill and calm and is like nice guy. It's like why do I don't know why I'm like I am fucking crazy, just nice. I never start shit. I'm always helping people. I'm like I don't understand why I have to deal with this crazy shit all the time.
Yeah, you got a magnet.
Yeah, I'm in Finland with fucking Rouse. We're at a bar afterwards. Some shitty rock bar. It's half empty. It's barely full. And then there's this guy we're with this guy from Sweden that's with us, and he's like he knows the area, and there's this guy there that's with his friends, but he's like he's acting like a tough guy. I think he might have been a tough guy, to tell you the truth. I'm not even sure. But he was like he found out like Rouse was like some sort of he thought he was a famous comedian. He goes, "Hey, you guys want to go to strip club with me?" And Rouse loves going to strip clubs. And so he's like, "Yeah, let's go to strip clubs. Yeah, let's go to strip club, right?"
Yeah.
This total stranger. But then that's the one I also realized I see him talking to Rouse, and
this feels
guy,
like the beginning of the movie Hostel.
It's so bad. This guy, I realize this guy's he's like a Hell's Angel.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's got his vest on. I realize like I see him talking to Rouse and this guy, so I see him from behind, and he's got his fucking vest. He's got the fuck everything. You're like, this is a Hell's Angel, and he's drunk. He's been drinking. He's fucking loaded, and I think he just got his vest too. So I think he was really like puffing out his chest.
Yeah.
And he says, my friend says to us, he goes, "Hey man, we're not going to that place. It's dangerous. We're not going. We're not doing it." And Rouse goes, "Okay." They're like, "All right, if you think we shouldn't go, we shouldn't go." So then Kai goes, "Okay, we're going, you guys, we're going." And the guy, Rouse is like, "Sorry, we're not going to go. We changed our mind." And this guy takes it as a personal insult that we're not going to go to the strip club with him now, right? And so, what do you mean you're not going to fucking go? What do you mean you're not going to go fucking with me? You're fucking with me. He starts yelling at them, and they're both in a booth sitting at the table. And I'm behind him, and I tap him on his shoulder, and I go, "Whoa, bud. Like, hey, come on, man. Let's chill out." He turns around, looks at me, and then he fucking goes, right hook, tries to hit me, like thinking like he's going to knock me out like in a movie. Yeah. And I go like this quickly, and the same thing. He just skins the back of my head. And I put my hands, I couldn't believe I did this, to tell you the truth, looking back. I put my hands on his shoulders. I'm like, "Hey, bud." I go, "You need to calm down." Like this. And he goes, fuck. And he leaves and goes outside, and he's taking his vest off. He's taking his shirt off. He wants to fight all of us now. And I just know, like, in my head, there's this, like, I felt like I could have knocked him out.
Yeah.
But I'm also in Finland, and he's a Hell's Angel.
Yeah.
right?
Enemy territory.
Yeah, it's bad news. So I go, I was fed up, and he's outside waiting for us, and I look at, I go Pamela Rouse and this other, you, let's go. I look at the fucking bouncer, or no, the bartender. I go, back door now, like just like that. And he goes, come with me. And then we go to this back door and we leave and we just fucking get the fuck out of there, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So trip. It was like I said, like it was like a fucking movie, because it was like,
yeah,
I'm like, Rouse would never listen to me generally. Like, but I was like, I was like full on. Look,
right. You were in the moment.
I'm like, I'm getting us out of this. Let's go. I'm not fighting a fucking guy from a bike gang. I'm not that. I'm not.
Yeah,
in Finland.
Right. You got to know your limits.
Yeah, I'm not going. Like, there's no. We were there for another 2 days. This is a horrible. Let's go,
dude. There is something about being internationally where, like, you gotta fucking. I'm on my best behavior, man. You know, I'm looking to sneak out of fights any way I can. You know what I mean? Because I don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to get kicked out. You know.
You don't know what the jails are like,
right?
I've not found a couple guys in the U.S. that were lippy with me, because my subconscious always assumes that they have a gun.
Oh yeah.
But I could be wrong. But I'm like, oh, okay, bud. I just play dumb.
North of the Mason-Dixon, you're all right. You get down into Georgia.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to be careful when you travel. Like I mean, like comedians, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This shows you must have so many crazy stories from so many comedians already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some good ones from comics for sure. I think we do get a few wild cards on that are real offside, which is fun.
Yeah.
Your buddy that's the hockey player that we did shows with, what's that guy name?
Terry Ryan.
Terry Ryan. He's fun.
Yeah, he's a party boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I like him a lot. But yeah, like it's cool. This is a great concept.
Yeah, thanks for
so
doing
much for coming on, man. We appreciate you doing it. Like,
yeah,
and for sure we'll have you on again. I'm sure you're like
5 more years. We talk about the boot.
Yeah, Tyler, tell him about the boot story afterwards. And